Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I welcome you all for this session on Blackboard Learning Management System. It's a basic workshop on Blackboard. So what I'm going to do is let me introduce myself, and then I'll go over the presentation in about 15-20 minutes, and then we will have like a hands-on demo. My name is Sanaullah Said. I'm at the Learning Technology Center in Deanship of Academic Development. I have been a Blackboard admin for quite some time, and from the list I can see a couple of new faculty members, and I can see returning faculty members. Maybe it's a long time, they want to just come back and refresh and just to get a little bit of the routine activities that is required at the beginning of the semester for teaching related activities. So this is going to be like a refresher workshop for them. For new faculty members, I am sure they have used either Blackboard in a different in their previous institution, or they have used any other learning management system. So we'll come to a little bit of more details during the demo. So let me just start. I'll go over the presentation for about 15-20 minutes. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always raise a hand or type it in the chat. And I would appreciate, we can interact a little bit more for your concerns and your questions. Okay. So let me begin with the presentation. So the agenda for today's session is basically, this is, as I consider this is for relatively new faculty members and, just to catch up and brush up on your previous experiences. So I'll give a brief introduction about what a learning management system is, some educational features, a little bit of market share, some usage statistics about modules, a little bit documentation, tools, support, and finally, a hands-on demo. So just to get you a brief basic definition, before we mention that, this session is essentially a basic overview of basic tools in Blackboard Learning Management System. And I'm sure all of us, or most of us, are you able to see the slides? No, okay, just sorry about that. Let me just. Okay, sorry about that. Let me just come back. So what I was mentioning is Blackboard Learning Management System is the online system for teaching and learning at KFUPM. So if you see on the screen, this Blackboard logo is basically a little bit old logo. Now we have Blackboard Learn by Anthology. I'll talk about this in a minute. So the agenda for today's session is learning management system, educational features, market share, usage statistics, modules, documentation, tool support. So I'll try to give you a brief overview of the learning management system that is in use at KFUPM with some of the essentials. And then, as I mentioned, we'll have a hands-on demo after the presentation. So this session is essentially an overview of basic tools in learning management system. So for the past 2 years or so, due to fully online teaching, all instructors have become experts and well experienced with variety of online tools, including LMS. So this is basically a review. So what I'm going to do is talk about some of the features, some of the tools that you might be familiar. So we'll just sort of go at together just to experience experience the learning management system itself. So learning management system, if we look at a basic definition, it's a web-based application for administration, documentation, tracking, reporting, and delivery of e-learning education courses. It does offer a consistent interface, so you have a very similar look and feel for most of the courses. It's easiest to customize for specific groups or different groups of learners. You have all the services and functions at a single point, so it's all integrated with Active Directory, for example, and so on. And it provides a technology-based solution for different learning paradigms. So like blended learning, you have group-based learning, and so on. It has a couple of educational features, essential educational features include diverse content options to address different learning styles. So you can upload content, of course, and you can have audio, video, images, and so on. So you have a variety of content options. You have course creation tools, like you have assignments, you have announcements, and so on. You have assessments, typical tests, quizzes, and so on. Interactive communication, for example, you have email, you have, within the system, email, messages, announcements, discussion boards, and so on. And finally, reporting, you generate course reports, you have grade center, and so on. So it's basically a collection of a lot of tools in one place. And you have these educational features that you can use in your teaching process. So you have content editor that allows you to have easy to use interface. You have a math editor built in. We have item analysis and quizzes. So it gives you like an at-a-glance analysis of all how the students have performed in the quiz. Then we have Grade Center, where all the grades are in one place. And when you enter the grades, each student sees their own grade and so on. And of course, Grade Center is a full workshop on its own, but I'll try to give some of the essential information about some of these tools. In addition to this, we have educational features such as online assessments. You have user-centric interface where you have notifications dashboard, inline grading. Again, some of the terminology you might be familiar or you have already used it, but it's just good to explore and just touch up on those some of the tools that you might not have used, or maybe it might be more useful at this point. A couple of more features which include active collaboration, like you have wikis, blogs, and journals as a part of tool that you can use it within the course. You have dynamic content, mashup, YouTube, Flickr, and SlideShare that you can include dynamic content directly from their websites into the course content. And then you can also integrate cloud services such as Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, and so on. In addition to this, you have course themes and structures. Typically, like if you have a different course theme for a project-based course, different course theme you can set up for a lecture or a lab-based course. So they have some well-defined templates that you can use it. And of course, you can manage files by easily uploading over the network, or support for different systems like Mac and Windows. Just one slide, I just wanted to share a historical information. This is basically a summary of all the LMS market share in the United States and Canadian higher education system until the end of 2022. So there are different learning management systems like Canvas, Sakai, Moodle, OpenLMS. You have Blackboard, Schoology, and other popular systems that are either homegrown or sort of merged and so on. So it sort of gives a historical overview from 1997 until 2022. So the trend is following something very similar. And we have been using Blackboard for almost 20 years now, since 2002, 2003. We have been using, and we were using WebCity, and then Blackboard got merged and so on. So this sort of gives you an idea that there are other systems, but the important thing, the major takeaway from this is whichever system you use, you have more or less very similar functions. So it does not matter that you use Blackboard or Canvas or Sakai, or if you have experienced a different system, for example, Moodle. Once you have used Moodle or Blackboard or Canvas, you understand the basic concepts of different tools in these systems. So it's very much using like one system versus another. So this gives you an idea of other market share and so on. Very quickly, I just wanted to mention this about the Blackboard LMS history. This was formed initially as CourseInfo in 1997, and it kept changing until the one that we have is Blackboard Learn. That was, by the way, these dates are approximate dates of when the system was initially available to institutions. Our adoption cycle is a little bit different because we sort of you adopt it once things have become a little bit more stable. So in 2011, it was Blackboard Learn, and in 2016, they released Blackboard Learn Ultra, which is the cloud-based system, which will be coming to KFUPM soon, hopefully sometime next year. So I'll talk about this on Thursday in the sneak peek of the latest Blackboard Learn Ultra LMS. So until then, just stay tuned. One more part about company ownership. Again, this is not very relevant to you, but just maybe the reason why I'm mentioning this is Blackboard initially was a different company until 2021. Now it has been partnering with Anthology, which is like a parent company, which also includes CRM, SIS, and LMS. LMS is Blackboard, SIS is the student information system, CRM is the customer relationship management. So it has a group of software that sort of serves the whole institution or a university as a whole. So Blackboard is now part of Anthology. Therefore, you will see in the Blackboard logo, it also mentions now part of Anthology. So it's just a company ownership, but from a tool or a perspective, it's very much similar. They are improving and enhancing. And the current latest version that is available is the Blackboard Learn Ultra cloud-based. So a couple of statistics again. These are post-COVID. Almost like, let's say 70 to 80% of faculty members agree that LMS is critical to their teaching. Again, students also believe that LMS does enhance student learning. Again, some of the main common tasks that LMS is used for is administrative tasks such as pushing out syllabus, posting syllabus, pushing out information, grades, assignments, and tracking. So it has been used heavily earlier also pre-COVID, but after COVID, things became a little bit more sort of intense with using LMS as sort of a main tool for online teaching and learning. Again, similar from a student perspective, they agree that they had a positive impact on satisfaction, productivity, and teaching, as well as access to their courses. Okay, a little bit about modules. So again, if you have used Blackboard, I'm sure you are aware of Blackboard mobile app, which runs both on iOS and Android devices. So this was the Blackboard instructor app, the one with the orange background icon, and this was the student icon, one with the light blue icon and a pencil in front. So these were two, and recently after the merger of Blackboard with Anthology, they have come up with a new mobile app. It's called Learn, which is basically Blackboard Learn, a single app for all users. So based on your role, you will be able to sort of log into courses and access courses either as an instructor or a student, depending on whatever role you have. So they have sort of unified it, and this is their new app. If you have already used a previous app, and if you have to update, it will automatically update. If you have not done, you can just go ahead and sort of install the new one. Just search for Blackboard Learn, and it's a single app. Just one more update. If you have used Blackboard for meetings like Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, this is a tool for virtual communication, online meetings, similar to Zoom or Teams that we have, but it runs in a browser and it uses WebRTC. Again, there has been a small change over here. The Blackboard Collaborate Ultra was purchased by another company called Class, and it is building sort of this was the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. It has been purchased and acquired by Class, so it is going to be a separate product, but this is not to worry about this year, sometime next year. And Class is basically taking some features of Collaborate Ultra. It's taking Zoom as their base system and sort of developing an online virtual classroom type setup. So it's a different product, but again, it's sort of partners with Anthology. So things are still not very clear about this, but as of now, as a faculty member or as a student, you don't have to worry. Blackboard Collaborate Ultra is available within Blackboard, and you can use it for virtual classroom or online meeting within your class if you are interested. And the only limitation, it runs in a browser using WebRTC. So it runs in Chrome and Firefox and Edge and so on, but not in the older other browsers like Opera or Internet Explorer and so on. So, and it does not have an application as such. So this is just like a summary of the Blackboard modules. If you are interested to download the Learn app, I just am opening a QR code. On the left side is one for Android, on the right side is one for iOS devices. So if you are interested, you can just scan this QR code with your phone or a tablet camera, and then you can download. Otherwise, just search for Blackboard Learn, and you should be able to also download this app. Now, again, as I mentioned, this is a combined app for both instructors as well as students. So both of them, you can, depending on your role, you will be able to access your courses as per your role. I'm sure majority of you are instructors, but sometimes you are accessing a course as a student where you don't have instructor privileges. So your privileges will automatically be limited based on your role in the course. I do want to mention a little bit information about some of the documentation and services. So if you log into Blackboard, I'll show it to you in the demo. If you log into Blackboard, you should be able to see the resources page, and in the resources page, you have all this information that is sort of updated on a regular basis. But a lot of information is available. I encourage you to just spend some time and look for something that is relevant to you. LTI integration is third-party tools and services. For example, we have Turnitin integration, we have GradeScope integration. So a couple of tools that are already integrated with Blackboard using LTI. And also we have digital textbook integrations. For example, if your department is purchasing textbook as well as access codes. I know WebAssign by Cengage is used by maths department, for example. Wiley Plus is used by accounting department. So those integrations are already in place, but if your department has plans to use digital content from the textbook publisher, you can use that in Blackboard. Similarly, we have other tools like Respondus, which is basically a tool for making quizzes and uploading it to Blackboard. Yeah, I mean, working locally and uploading it to Blackboard. We have Turnitin, SafeAssign. Turnitin is the plagiarism detection service. SafeAssign is also the similar, but it's by Blackboard. Turnitin is a third-party tool. It's external tool. And then we have Blackboard tips that are being sent typically in the beginning of the semester to new faculty members. So, something that is worth sharing, like making the course available or adding graders and so on. So that type of information is being shared. And then we have some online courses, which are either video online courses or comprehensive online courses. So those are also available. I can quickly share that information with you when we go on to the demo part. These are some of the tools that are relatively less used. So I'll talk about these tools in my next workshop, which will be after 2 days on Thursday on the advanced Blackboard workshop. So I'll talk more about these specific tools, and the recommendation is that, and the best practice is that it's recommended to use the proper tool for any tasks. So I'll talk more about these different tools, which are a little bit on the advanced level. The reason is they are less used and they are not very, they apply to very specific instances. For example, if you look at date management, you can use the date management only if you copy a course from a previous semester, and then you have to change the dates in bulk. So it applies to a specific situation. So things of that sort, I'll discuss this in the advanced workshop. Now, finally, for support, the first place that you should always go is online help, which is the help.blackboard.com, and KFUPM is using the Blackboard Learn original experience. There is a newer version called Blackboard Learn Ultra Experience, which I will talk about it on Thursday in my webinar in the afternoon. That sort of gives you a sneak peek, but again, this is still not available, not ready. So I'll just try to sort of touch upon that. But right now for support, you should go for Blackboard Learn original experience. Then if you need any specific help, you can always go to ICTC eDesk for all your requests related to LMS. So it can be accessed using KFUPM portal, IT Corner, and Help Desk. So this is the place where you can open a support ticket, and somebody should be able to respond to you as soon as they can. So thank you for this presentation, for attending this presentation. So basically what we'll do is we'll go for a quick demo, and I'll try to demonstrate some of the essential tools. You can log into Blackboard using your portal credentials. Either you can go through portal or go to direct link blackboard.kfupm, and you should be able to access your course. Now, one important thing, especially for new faculty members, the default setting is your accounts for Blackboard are typically created in 1 week before the classes begin. I mean, the courses in Blackboard appear 1 week before the classes begin. So it will be available early next week, which is Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. And the classes are supposed to start on 27th August, Sunday. So it will be available. But since some of the faculty members had registered, we had to sort of, those accounts were already created. So those accounts, some of the new faculty members might face an issue in listing of courses. So I'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. So let me just stop my video because the video sort of interferes in sharing the application. So let me stop my video and stop my share. I'll share my web browser page now. So that's essentially about the presentation. Any questions so far? If you have any questions, any concerns, you can put it in the chat window or raise a hand or just speak up. So please feel free to do that. Okay. Just a second, let me readjust my screens. Okay, excellent. I think everybody's happy with at least the basic introduction. Okay. Okay, let me just get a quick raise of hands from new faculty members or somebody who has recently joined. Please let me know if, either in the chat or raise of hand, if you have not used Blackboard. I mean, I want to see somebody who's coming from a different background or a different experience. If you have not used Blackboard or used some other learning management system, just raise your hand, or just in the chat, just mention which system did you use before. So I want to ask for your experience. Yes. Yes, Dr. Mohammed. Yes, Dr. Mohammed Abdullahi, you can speak up. I cannot hear you. I cannot hear anyone. Dr. Shadi, if you'd like to say something.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Actually, I'm using Moodle open source.
Okay.
I came recently to university, but in my country, I'm using Moodle.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for
As a
sharing.
student, also I used Blackboard.
Okay,
when I
excellent.
studied PhD. Oh.
So you have used two systems. I can see in the chat also, Dr. Sharif mentioned I've used Brightspace. Brightspace is Desire to Learn Brightspace, and it was shown in that graph as well. So again, the system is very similar. Thank you for sharing. Yes, Dr. Abdullahi.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, please.
Yeah, actually, this is my first time using Blackboard.
Okay.
I have little experience on it.
Okay.
Previously, in my country, actually, I would normally use PowerPoint.
Oh, okay. So it's first time for your learning management system.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the first time.
Maybe you used it as a student, so it was a little different, but as an instructor might be first time.
Pardon?
Maybe you used the system as a student before, so it's a little different as an instructor.
Yeah, actually, it's different. This is my first time using Blackboard, to be honest.
Okay, thank you. Welcome again.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. So let me just start sharing my screen and we will go into...
I'm trying to open the answer on the page now.
Okay, so you can go to Blackboard. As I showed, blackboard.kfupm, or if you are able to log into KFUPM portal, you should have a link for Blackboard. Otherwise, let me just...
No, I've opened it. I have the link now.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Dulejan, you have mentioned courses for this term is not yet. Yes, courses will be available for the upcoming term, because right now the summer term is still in action. The summer term will finish this Thursday. So from Sunday onwards, the courses for next term 231 will be available. So just please hang on and stay tuned. It should be available, because it causes confusion sometimes when you have courses from different semesters combined. So just hang on for another 2 days and it will be available, inshallah. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, you're able to see my screen? Yes, it should be fine. Okay. So normally when you go to Blackboard, you should be able to log in with your portal username and password. You should see something like this. Is everybody able to see my screen? Okay, thank you. Let me just read the chat. Anything in the chat? Okay, excellent. So once you log into Blackboard, you should see something like this. You have web courses. Of course, you will not have the system admin. You will have online courses. You have resources. Here is the place where you will see all your courses. You'll have notifications dashboard on the top left. And then you have these tools over here. Some of the tools will be relevant to you, and a couple of modules here, and so on. So the list of courses will appear somewhere in the center on your Blackboard course list. And as I mentioned, the courses for next semester will appear next week, and it should be, you can categorize the courses based on different terms. So right now I have categorized for some of the previous terms, and you can hide some of the courses that you don't need. So what I will do here is I'll try to go over the interface very quickly, and then I'll talk about some of the resources. And then I have created a new course and I have added all of you in this course over here. And then I'll try to do some basic interaction in terms of adding content, making, preparing the course and so on. So let me start with that. And of course, if you have any questions if you have any questions or concerns, just put it in the chat or raise a hand or somehow send me a message. Okay. Okay, so this is the course list. By default, if you can see, it says as not currently available. Now, this is a little bit tricky. Not currently available means this course is not available to students. But as an instructor, it is available to you. All you have to do is just click on the link of the course. If you click on the course, it will be available. I mean, available as in listed, and it says course is not available to students. So don't get confused that you do not have access to this course. You have access to this course. It will be something like a blank course with, with interface on the left and control panel on the lower left side. I mean, course menu on the upper left side and control panel on the lower left side. And then you have different, this is the content area and so on. Now, if you want to come back, always click on this web courses and you will come back to the first page of the login page where you will see again the list of courses. Before I go into the course detail, let me just talk a little bit about these links on the top. So web courses is the homepage where you see everything. Online courses are courses that are, video and comprehensive online courses that I mentioned in the presentation. These were developed in-house by KFUPM faculty members in support with external company that allowed us to do the content design and instructional design part. So these are fully comprehensive online courses. These are used as supplemental courses for students if they are interested in taking or accessing the content. It's like more organized and developed through the Learning Technology Center, formerly e-learning center. So you will see a list of video online courses. So faculty members, they were video recorded and the content was compiled with SCORM 5, HTML5 and videos and so on. So if you are interested of your subject of any course, these are a little bit old. These are pre-2000. They were started earlier, but these video online courses were done in 2015-16. So just have a look. The content, of course, the concepts will not change, but you will get an idea if there is something that can be improved. So this is a long list of about 70 courses, close to 70 courses from different departments. These are categorized by different departments. So just have a look if some of the course is relevant to you. If you have a Blackboard account, which I'm sure all of you, unless somebody has recently joined and their account will be created next week, if not yet. Once you are logged into Blackboard, you can self-enroll into these courses. On the lower right side, it shows you the steps. You can self-enroll in the course. You just click on the course, click here to enroll, click the word enroll, submit, and OK, and then you should be able to have access to this course. There are some courses in Arabic for Islamic and Arabic, so these steps are given in Arabic as well. You can see from here, these course names are in Arabic for practical grammar, belief, and so on. So just have a look if some course interests you, and some information is given here. And these were courses, some of the courses are developed in authorware format. These are very old, so these might not work. So you can ignore these, but these courses are very much in working condition, and some of them that are developed in SCORM and HTML5 are mobile compatible as well. So it will run properly on your mobile device as well, because some of the older courses might not run on mobile devices. So that's about online courses. A little bit about resources. On the top right side, you will see resources of different tools and services available in Blackboard. For example, a couple of handouts about workshop or understanding changes about advanced Blackboard learning management system, and so on. Online attendance tool within Blackboard, some tips that have been made available. I'm going from column by column for the first column on the left. The responders tool, if you are interested in responders, just follow the steps on how to get responders. Help for Blackboard instructors. This is a part which I will come to you towards the end of this resources page. Help for instructors and help for students. Turnitin integration is there, and there is an instruction and a student manual, and you have Safe Assign and so on. Similarly, you have Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, which I mentioned is still working in Blackboard, but next year it might not work. So until we have Blackboard, so things should be fine. It is like an alternate to Zoom or Teams, where the whole thing is part of the course itself. So that can be used. Course merging is possible if you are interested, if you are a coordinator, or if you are interested in merging your sections for whatever pedagogical reasons, you can do that. There is a couple of handouts about advanced workshop material from Blackboard, and these are handouts and presentations. So if you're interested, just have a look, and you can try out this specific handout material. A couple of other content over here, ICTC Help Desk. We used Responders Lockdown browser in the previous term during the COVID, so this is not available anymore. I think I'll remove it, but I kept it only for the reference because this was there. And then these are the Blackboard mobile apps for different iOS and Android, but this is a little bit old and there is a newer version, but if you download this, you will get the newer version anyway. And you have information about digital text content and textbook integrations and a couple of courses that are available for your reference. So this is the resources page, and one of the most important links, one of the most important links in the resources page is the Blackboard Help for Instructors. This is the help place that I mentioned. If you face any problem, just click on this help in Arabic or English language. This is available from help.blackboard.com. So when you click on it, this link has to be updated, but I think it updated. Yeah. So Blackboard Learn Help for Instructors. If you come over here, you can see original experience and ultra experience. Ultra experience is the new one, which I will talk very briefly in my next seminar or webinar after 2 days, but let's go with the original experience. So when you go to the original experience, this is the current system that we have. It talks about different activities, some of the common, like how to make a course available. So it shows you the steps with screenshots, and sometimes it also has a small video. Right now, it does not have a video, but if you go on more on course availability, it will show you, I think, yeah, there's a small YouTube video how to make the course available. So just play the video. It's usually small 2 or 3 minute video. It will give you an idea. So there are tutorial videos. There are contextual help. There is HTML based help. So this is the first place that you should look for whenever you are trying to search for something. And for each of the activities, it's sort of categorized by different activities like test surveys and polls, quick start, grading, some of the common questions, how to interact with students, accessibility, track performance, or you can just watch all the videos, assignments. So if you want to just watch the videos, it's a YouTube playlist. So you can build a playlist of how to design your course entry point and so on. So it gives a list, and you can go to the original video playlist, which has around about 100 videos, I think, of different activities that can be done within a Blackboard course. So I encourage you to just at least go and visit this website, look at 1 or 2 videos. You will get a good idea of what has been, how to get the main things done. Again, this is especially recommended for newer faculty members who are or relatively first-time users or new users. So I encourage them to sort of spend some time on this website. So that's about it for, let me just go back a little bit. Okay, that's about it for HTML-based help and videos, as well as help for Blackboard Mobile. This is the help for instructors, and similar, there is help organized for students. Now, for you, typically, most of you are at least instructors, so you will use the instructor help. But I see maybe 1 or 2, they are graduate students, so they might want to access the course as a student. So if you want to access this, you can look for the same help in English language. Also, there is in Arabic, because accessing a course as a student is much different than accessing a course as an instructor. Think of it as this way. Accessing a student is more like viewing a website only. And accessing a course as an instructor is more like designing a website where you can customize the website and so on. So it's a little bit more, you have set of options, you have option to make changes to the course and so on. So for students, uploading an assignment is relatively much simpler compared to an instructor, where they have to define the assignment, maybe upload a file, set the time and date for the deadline, allow additional letters. So you have a couple of options as an instructor when you create an assignment, versus as a student, you just upload a file to the assignment. You just are aware of the deadline. Until then, you can upload. So things of that sort, it will differ from instructor versus a student perspective. Okay. Any questions at this point? I don't see anything in the chat, so I think we are all doing okay. Okay. Now let's come to the actual course. In the beginning of every semester, you will see a list of all courses that you are assigned to teach. It will automatically appear from the registrar website. If you go to the registrar website, and you can see, look at the course offerings, for example, and let's say we select the next term, 231, and let me select Accounting and Finance Department. As you can see, the course has been created, but the instructor has not been assigned yet. So even because, as I mentioned, the summer semester term 23223, which is the summer semester, is still active. Some of the departments have not finalized their instructor assignments, or it has not been uploaded by the registrar website. So things are still in progress, but some departments, I think, have uploaded their instructors. Let me just check another department. Yes, like chemistry department has uploaded the instructor. So once this instructor assignment is sort of finalized, the course that they are teaching with the title and the instructor is with the student enrollment will automatically appear after the synchronize, typically the same day or maximum the next day, because these systems synchronize multiple times a day. So your courses that you are teaching will automatically appear over here. Now, a couple of exceptions over there. If you have a long list of courses, maybe it will not appear, then you have to hide some old courses. So let me just talk about that in a minute. So this is the place that you have to see first in the registrar website if your course has already been assigned to you, and then you can look at Blackboard. Now in Blackboard, you can see this list of courses. As you can see, there is a long list of courses, and at the end it says you are currently enrolled in too many courses. So I can click on more courses and view those courses. Now this is one way to see. If I click over here, it will ask me what's the criteria that you would like to search. I mean, do I want to search for a specific term-related courses or search by name and so on? I can search. Otherwise, there is one more easier way, which is I will try to hide some of the old courses. So if I go to this wheel-like icon on the upper right side of the course module, manage my course module settings. If I click on this one, it will give me organized by term. So some of the terms are there, and then it shows me the list of all the courses. I know it's a long list of courses because I was involved in this online courses and video online courses development and so on. So you can hide some of these courses by just unchecking them, or just unchecking them, checking them, make it visible, unchecking them, and click on submit. And then when you click on submit, some of the older courses will get hidden, and you will see the newer courses that are supposed to be seen. This will be specifically useful for faculty members who are here either for a long time, at least like 5 to 7 years, where you have long list of courses, or if you are teaching a lot of sections. For example, PE department, they typically have 8 to 10 lectures. So their course list gets populated much faster. Maybe in 2 years, you will have like maybe 50, 70 courses so in your course list as multiple sections. So just to spend some time in terms of hiding your old courses, and you will be able to see newer and current courses. So that's about the course list. And of course, this information, if you click on the resources page, it talks about managing my course module settings. If you click on this PDF file, it talks about the same thing, my web courses, my courses. You talk about these icon, and then over here, you can just select some of the courses and so on. It gives an explanation. So there are some, by the way, this was developed quite some time ago. So there are certain, documentation available for most of the common activities and the tips over here. So I encourage you to spend some time if you are especially a new faculty and you would like to know some of the common things that are easier to work with when it comes to the current system. Okay, so having said that, so we tried to sort of look at this part, and then let's look at this part. I think this is also very important, but I will defer this to a little bit later, the notifications dashboard part, because the notifications come when you have some activity in the course. So I'll defer this to a little bit later after we go into the course. Okay, so by default, as I mentioned, you will have courses that you are teaching in the previous courses will appear in your course list under my courses. For this current term, it will appear next week. But for the previous terms, if you have taught courses, it will appear like this, and you can rearrange them using the same My Course module setting. So for this workshop today, what I have done is I have created a new course called 231 DAD Workshop Introduction to Blackboard August 2023. Now what I'm going to do is, right now it's not currently available to students, not to instructor. I am the instructor, so it's available to me. If I click on this course and it says it's not currently available, what I have done is I've added all the faculty members who have registered for this workshop. So if I go to this control panel, users and groups, and click on users, I can see list of all the users, all the faculty members that have registered for this workshop as students. So I have enrolled you as a student, and I can see that there are about 78 users. If I say show all, I can see this student list. This is a long list of all the students who have enrolled, and I think 50 are participating in this workshop. I can see the Zoom list, and some of them might either join late or have some other commitment. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is these are the user list. But however, if you log into Blackboard right now, you will not be able to see this course because by default, this course is unavailable to students. So the first thing as an instructor that you are supposed to do is you have to make the course available. Now, there are a couple of ways to do it, but the simplest way is you see this padlock icon on the upper right side. If you just click on it once, it will make the course available. So let me just click on it. Now, once I click on it, it's a toggle switch. So I can always uncheck that. I can always click on it and it becomes lock again. It shows an open icon, which means now the course is available to students. That unavailable text has gone. And if I click over here, I can see that there is nothing written. It does not say not currently available. Now, if you refresh your Blackboard as a student, you will be able to see this course. However, it's all empty. There is nothing over here. So basically, it's a course shell. It's a blank course shell, and there is no content over here. If you are already logged into Blackboard, please just log in, and you can see that the course is empty, and you can access this course. Now, for some reason, if I say, this is not a best practice, that you just have the course and you make it available. By the way, you also must have received an email notification. Maybe it will come right now or maybe in a minute or two that you have now access to a new course, something like this, that you will get that you are now a part of, you as a student have access to this course. And this email notification is generated automatically. So now, if you are able to see, just have a look, just make sure, is everybody able to see it, or at least just let me know if you can see this in your course list. Yes, okay, I got at least one thumbs up. Okay, of course, I'm sure all of you can also see. As I mentioned, if you are not able to see this course, maybe your course list is already reached the limit of how many courses it can show. So you can just arrange them, hide the previous ones, and you should be able to see it. Currently, I use this course under the term 231, so it should appear as term 231. Okay, so by default, as I mentioned, this course is empty, and the moment I keep adding content to it, so this is the home page. And by the way, just for you to see, this is the tool setup. This is how to make the course available. You click on the lock icon, it becomes unlocked. By the way, this link is also hidden. So let me just quickly talk about the interface over here. Now, as an instructor, you will be able to see this plus sign on the left side. You will see options to rearrange using the keyboard, refresh this menu, or just display as a pop-up. These options are available to you as an instructor, but as a student, you will not be able to see so many things. So many things will be limited. I'll exactly show you how the student sees, but let me just come to a couple of points. So these are the course menu list. Again, as an instructor, you can rearrange them. For example, you can move course content down, assignments up, for example, and so on. This is the template. So these are the links. A blank gray box beside a link means there is no content. So if I click on assignments, this is all blank. So you have to add content. If I click on course syllabus, it's all empty. And there is a small diagonal line in a box under course tools area, which means there are tools, but this means this link is hidden from a student. So the students, you as a student cannot see it. And there is instructor information, which of course is empty, but you can see, but there's nothing. Then you click on announcements. again, there is nothing. The whole course is empty, basically. By default, this is how you get it at the beginning of the semester. And you have to, as a faculty member, you have to upload content, try these different tools and activities, and then you have the control panel where you can manage so many other activities. So announcements is a tool. So, but by the way, these tools are already added for you as a part of template. If you are interested in adding more tools, you can always click on this plus sign, add some more tool link, and select which tool you are interested. It will show you the tools available within Blackboard that you can add. For example, there is no tool about groups, for example. Right now, there is users and groups. There is groups right now. Of course, no groups are created, but I can just add a tool link called groups, for example, and I can say groups over here, make it available to users and click submit. The link for groups appear over here. So you can just drag and drop wherever you want to. For example, I want the groups to appear here as separate, and I will also add a small divider line, for example, and just make it, a little bit more explicit if I want to add groups. And of course, you can add more content area. For example, if you are talking about assignments, it's already created. Assessments, the blank page is already created. You can add certain things. But let's start from something like course content and so on. So what I'm going to do is, let me talk very quickly about this content, this control panel, then we'll come to adding content. So in the control panel, you have content collection, which basically means the list of files that you upload to this course becomes a part of this course is accessible under content collection. So this is the place when you upload a file, it will appear over here. Then you have different course tools. Let me just collapse. Different course tools, if you want to go into any specific feature of the tool, for example, announcements, either you can go directly from here as announcement, as a link has been created. Otherwise, you can click announcements from here, and it basically allows you to access the same place. Similarly, you have another different tools like attendance is a tool that is built in by Blackboard. This is Blackboard attendance tool, so you can add the attendance. Right now, it's not. It's also, if you notice, it's sort of disturbed a setting a little bit because this attendance is actually not inherently part of Blackboard. It's part of Blackboard Cloud, so hence it sort of disturbs a little bit. That's why you see this change of size in the course menu. But if you come back, it should be fine. It just resets. And then you have other tools like Cengage, content market tools, Cengage tool. You have course messages. Some are basically internally Blackboard course tools. Some are external tools. So I'll come to some of these tools a little later on. Then you have evaluation. So you can get course reports or performance dashboards, but some of these links might not work in my case because for course reports, sometimes you need some activity in the course, like the users are added, then you have uploaded content and the users have accessed content, and then there is some interaction and discussion and so on, some activity. So, and it typically gets generated 24 hours later. So at this moment, we might not have course reports or any activity. So I encourage you to try this later on in your course, typically after the first week or so. Then we have Grade Center. Grade Center, as I mentioned, is a place where you upload all your grades. Now, Grade Center is very specific to instructors only and teaching assistants and graders. Students definitely do not have access through this as a control panel, but whatever grades that you upload for any activity, it is very similar to an Excel sheet. So you can work with grades, either uploading grades or creating quizzes and so on. By the way, Grade Center also shows you the last access. So if somebody has accessed the course, I can see that these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 7 faculty members have accessed this course. So I know that they have accessed this course today. Others have not accessed it yet. So from this is one quick way to at least look at if your course has been accessed by your students or not, or when was it last accessed, or if some student has never accessed your course. So things of that sort, you can look very immediately within the Grade Center. Okay, can you please share more light on the attendance? Yes, I'll come to attendance just in a couple of minutes because I'm going overall like a broad view, then I'll come to those specific tools as attendance. Okay, so then you have the grade center for assignments and tests as well. So I'll come to this part a little later on. And then we have users and groups. So by default, the list of all the users in this course appear over here. You don't have to really worry about users because the students will be automatically enrolled in the register. Whoever are enrolled in the course in the registrar will automatically be enrolled in Blackboard. So you really don't have to worry unless you would like to add teaching assistant or grader. Then this is the place where you can find users to enroll from here and then type in their ID, whatever ID that you know, either like G20 something or S2017, just the ID, and then select the role, which role that you would like to give as undergrad grader, teaching assistant, grader, or guest, and so on. And then you click submit. So that student or user will be added to your course. Now, by default, you don't have to, as I mentioned, you don't have to worry about adding students because they will be already added. But this is essentially used for adding teaching assistants or graders or some colleagues that you would like to share content with and so on. So this is the place where you add users and groups. So, and if you would like to make groups for different students for different activity, you can do that from here. A couple of customization options that you have here is you can change the properties of the course. For example, if you want to change the name of the course, how it appears, if you want to, update, if the title is so long, I'll just say workshop, for example. You cannot change the course ID, but the course name can be changed. So that part can be done. And you can, change the language of the course and a couple of other customizations that you can do. By default, you can also make the course available from here. This used to be the first place, but you can also use this padlock icon on the upper right side to make the course available or unavailable and click submit. A couple of more options, including teaching style, where you can select different course structure. As I mentioned, if you would like to have an activity, you will have activities of this type. If you would like to have a case study, you can have, instead of content and activities, you can have, categorized based on different themes and so on. If it's a conference session, if it's constructivism, if it's a lab format or guided discussion. So things of that sort. There is a ready-made course structure that you can just click on use structure and everything will be reorganized. I will not do this in my course because I want to use the same template and so on. And again, you can use a course entry point. If you would like to have the first course entry point, it has to have some content. So if I would like to make announcements, I can select announcements and do this. A couple of, again, customizations and cosmetic changes, like adding a different flavor to the course, where you can select a different theme. For example, if I'd like to have this lavender theme, for example, and click submit, I'll see the whole course a little bit in a different color and style. So it becomes a little bit more relevant. And of course, there are other themes. For example, again, this is a teaching style, pure customizations. You don't have to worry about it. But some things that are more relevant is if, for example, this is a mathematics course, for example. So if I click submit, it gives me that little bit of geometry or geometrical images at the background. So it gives a little bit more flavor to a course. So for me, this is more like digital learning. So I'll just make it, digital learning, little bit unified, like computers and devices and so on. So some image here where you can see like, something digital. And again, this is all customizable and cosmetic, but it adds a small flavor to your course. One last thing about customizations, teaching style, is that you can have a course banner at the top. Normally, when you enter the course, it looks very blank and it looks very empty. So it's always good to have a course banner. So this is the place where you can add under teaching style, you can add a local file. In my case, I'll just, I have a banner for our reporting week activities. I'm just going to use that, although it's a little bit in different proportions. You will see something like this. It should be a little bit more wider than taller. So only for the sake of demonstration, I just added a banner. So it will look like this, reporting week activities. So just to add a little bit flavor, a little bit customization, it really makes the course a little bit more attractive to access and differentiate between different courses. So the student will easily understand that this is a math course or this is a chemistry course and so on. Okay, any questions at this point? Okay, attendance part, I'll just come back in a minute or in a couple of minutes. It's almost 1 hour now. It's close to 4:30. I'll spend a couple of more minutes here, then we'll take a small break for like 5 to 7 minutes, and then we'll come back. So let me just finish this control panel activity. So under control panel, you have other options like tool availability. There are certain tools that are available throughout the course. Just have a look at those tools. By default, you don't have to worry about these tools, but sometimes some tools get disabled by mistake, so you can just have a look. For example, I think rubrics is available, roster is available. So I remember one of the faculty member disabled rubrics and he was trying to add a rubric. So you can just have a look if it's not getting added or not visible, and so on. Finally, we have something like packages and utilities, where it's more like managing the course in terms of copying the course. For example, if you are teaching the same course next semester, so you go to this current course and say, copy my course material into a new course or an existing course. So you select it and you select a destination and it copies everything, so that you can copy the whole course. You can even copy the enrollment, but I don't encourage that. You can also include the enrollment, which is the students, but I don't encourage that unless you are sure of that. So you can select this course, select a destination ID, select everything that is available in this course, and then calculate the size. Right now, the size is even less than 200 KB, but once you upload files, you will be able to see that size goes up, and the limit is 5 GB, which is, I think, quite generous. But some users have used, because they have uploaded videos, so they have used it up to 5 GB. So you can copy the whole course. This activity is usually useful in the next semester, or even in the current semester if you want to copy content from the previous semester. So you can use this option. And you can also export or archive the course if you'd like to export and keep a backup of it. Export will give you only the content. Archive will give you student interaction and student information as well. So archive is a little bit more larger in size when you download the zip file, because it basically creates a zip file of a package of your course. Now, one important thing to notice, if you have noticed, is whenever I go to any specific tool, there is always some sort of explanation over here, which is basically explaining what this tool does. Like export creates a package of a course that can be imported into a same or different course. Now, this is what I call as contextual help, where if I click on more help, I will get some information about this, only about exporting and archiving. This is called contextual help. Sometimes you can disable contextual help by clicking on this question mark on the upper right side, where it gets disabled. So sometimes you don't see it. If you want to see it, you just click on this and it enables. Again, depending on the screen size, for some reason, if you are accessing the course with the smaller screen size, maybe this information might not be relevant. So you can always play with that. So that's essentially about course copy, export, and then import package, and so on. So that's essentially about the course content area, and then you have the control panel area. Now, let me just take a quick break, and we'll come back in 5 minutes. And let me see, there is a question. If you are recording an online lecture with a large amount of students, they will track the attendance through session after finishing the recording. Are you mentioning recording means in Collaborate Ultra, or yes, in Collaborate Ultra? I'll come to it. I'll come to Collaborate Ultra. Well, I don't have a session here right now. Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, as I mentioned, is similar to Zoom, but built-in tool. Here you'll have session recordings, and it will have the attendance. There is something called, you have to enable the Ultra attendance when you create a session in Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. Like if you create a session, you have to enable attendance over here, share attendance information with LMS. So just you have to check this information, otherwise the attendance will not come. If you check this attendance, all the attendance information and tracking what time they logged in, what time they logged out, and how much time they spent in the session is all visible. You have to enable this in Collaborate Ultra. I hope that's clear. So let me just take a quick break. I'll get a cup of tea and then we'll be back in 5 minutes. It's 4:31, so 4:36 we'll be back. Thank you. Okay, I am back. Okay, let me continue from where I left. Okay, so we basically have sort of covered some of the areas about course menu and about the control panel. Now, since somebody asked about attendance, and then I'll talk about repeating the first step in course copy. Okay, for the course copy, it's just one statement. If you'd like to copy a course, you have to go to the source course, which has all the content. So you have to go to custom. You have to go to a source course. For example, let me just go to some other course where I have some content, which is let's say previous semester, and I have some files over here. I go to packages and utilities and click on course copy. Because I'm the admin, I can create copy course into a new material, but for you, it will be like an existing course. So you have to first go to the source course, click into existing and select the destination. And the destination, you have to browse and search for list of courses where you are the instructor. So only courses that where you are instructor, you are able to copy. You are not able to copy into other instructor or the other faculty member courses. So once this appears, select the course, submit it, select all the course material, and click on submit. Usually it takes a couple of minutes depending on the size of the course, but you will get an email notification as soon as the course copy process has been completed. And then you can see in the destination course that course has been populated with the course material. I hope that sort of clarifies. Regarding the attendance, okay, let me talk about the attendance because I think this is very important. Couple of options for attendance. If you go into Blackboard, by default, there are two attendance options, and both of them have their own limitations. It's not a perfect tool in my opinion, but it does the major job. So the first attendance tool is something called online attendance. If you click on this tool link, or you can add the tool link, but otherwise, if you click on the course tools, you will see online attendance. Online attendance over here, if you click on it, this shows you essentially how many students are in this course with their first and last names. Unfortunately, the limitation is that it does not show their student ID. So this is good for small to medium classes where you do not have large number of students, because eventually, from our experience, you tend to have repeated names and then you cannot identify the students. Yeah, this is attendance within the class itself. This is one way to do it. I mean, you can, select all of them and find out if somebody has not attended. Again, this is not a very efficient system. This is one way to do it. You can do the dates, set up different, what will be the date of your, when the course begins, when the course ends, and so on. You have to do all those setup. For example, my course begins, let's say, 20th of or 27th of August and finishes, let's say, December 31st, for example, and it happens on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And I click on Save Settings, return to menu. So once I have done that, I will be able to see the attendance list for, right now it doesn't show up because it's still, the date setup, because it's still next week or week after. It usually shows the current week, or it's just showing for today. So if I start, let's say this week, let's say 1st of August, just for the sake of demonstration, and return to menu. So you will see these different dates that are immediately appearing, and you can select P is for present, A is for absent, L is for late, E is for excused, U is for unexcused, and these are the instructions over here. If you click on instructions, you can see how you can just look at this and how to set up your attendance and so on by seating chart, by attendance, and so on. And you can, once you have, today is 15th of August, so if everybody is present, you can just say present. Or if somebody is missing, by default, randomly I'm selecting somebody is absent, somebody is late, somebody is excused, and I click Save Attendance. Now, when I click Save Attendance, the attendance says the attendance records for this date has been saved. I return to the menu. And still, because this attendance, I clicked online attendance from the course tools, this part is not visible to the students. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a link over here for online attendance. I'm going to click the plus sign and click on the tool link, and I will call the same thing, online attendance, and select online attendance from the tool list, make it available to users, and click submit. Now, when I do this, I have added this item in the course menu for students. So as a student, when you click on this course online attendance, you should be able to see your attendance only for today. So right now as an instructor, I'm seeing for everyone, but you as a student will see about your attendance only, and it talks and it shows the previous days if you have missed anything and so on. So this is about online attendance. As I mentioned, it has some limitations, which is it does not show the student ID. And if you have large number of students, it's difficult to categorize by sections and so on. So it's recommended only if you have medium to small classes and non-merged sections. Individual sections is fine. There is one more tool that is, now this online attendance is a third-party tool developed by some university, but made available through Blackboard. Now this is one tool, but everything is hosted locally. Now there's one more tool in addition to this, which is called attendance, which is part of Blackboard. Again, this is Blackboard attendance through the cloud. It sort of changes something. Again, you can add the attendance. It's very similar to the online attendance tool, but it appears in the grade center. So you don't have to add that additional link. I'm going to use the default settings. Present is 100%, late is 50%, absent is 0, and excused and so on. And I click on save and close this. So overall, I can just mark everyone present. For example, in this meeting, I'll mark everybody as present. So by default, all the students, it's taking a couple of seconds because there are about 70 students. Again, the limitation of this attendance tool is similar. It does not show the student ID, but at least when you click on it, if you click on it, you get a little bit more information. But again, you will not get the student ID. But if a student has uploaded their photo, you will be able to see their photo. So if I just scroll down, maybe somebody has uploaded. Yeah, Mr. Said Al-Amudi has uploaded his photo, so I can see him. So at least, a little bit better compared to the online attendance tool, but this also has its own limitations. You will see the result of the attendance in the grade center. So the grade center will automatically create a column called attendance. If you remember, grade center did not have this column before I clicked on add attendance. So now this is 100% to everyone because I gave everyone present. Now coming to the third attendance tool, which is not part of Blackboard. There is some custom in-house attendance tool developed by the ICTC department, and they have come up with in-class attendance using QR codes. Unfortunately, I do not have access to that, and I cannot give you a link. But what they informed me is, if you log into portal, there is an online attendance system, and you will have a link to that. So that allows you to take attendance in class where you display, on the projector or the big screen, you can show the QR code, and students will scan their mobile, scan that QR code with their mobile. Of course, they have to log in using that app for the university and so on. Again, that is available for physical classrooms. Again, that was recently developed, maybe early last semester, and they're still sort of rolled out for most of the departments, but I think they're still improving the system and updating it. So unfortunately, I do not have access to it. So I can just mention that it is developed by ICTC, available through KFUPM portal. But attendance is a little bit challenging in Blackboard, at least from a student ID perspective. I hope that answers the question about attendance. And about the physical class update, it's, as I mentioned, the ICTC attendance tool allows you to take physical classroom attendance by using the QR codes, and that's updated immediately. I mean, you'll have that system. That's part of Darajati, I think, if I remember correctly, or similar to the Darajati system, where the Prepare faculty members use that system to update grades for the students. Thank you. Okay, now let's come to a little bit on the second attendance. Okay, the first attendance is online attendance. The second attendance is Blackboard built-in attendance, which is over here under course tools and attendance. So when you click on it, it's by default for today's date. I took present to all, but if I want to add late to someone, absent to someone, excused to someone, and then it automatically saves. And if I go back to the grade center, I can see that somebody got 0. It's automatically updated. You just click on the grade or the attendance status for that student for that day. So the place to do that is under course tools and attendance. You will see for this meeting means today. If you want to say overall, this was for today. This was the attendance, and it gives some information. And a couple of settings over here where you want to change using grade, letter, or percentages. It sort of considers attendance as a gradable item. That's how it considers. So you get 50% marks and 100% marks and so on. And then every day every class session, you keep adding it, and it sort of gives you the total. So it behaves more like a gradable item. So that's about attendance. Again, attendance is not a very strong feature within Blackboard, but it has a feature, and you can use it, again, as I mentioned, with some limitations. Okay, I hope that answers the question. So now let me get to the content part. So by default, course content, you can, if you click on the word course content, you can always change it, course contents or lecture contents or so on. You can always rename this link to, for example, lecture course contents and so on. So you can rename it, hide it, permit guest and so on, or also move it as per your preferences. So now once I click on it, I can upload content. The simplest way is to upload a file. So I can just click on create file. I have to give a name. Let me browse a local file on the desktop. If I just search for example, I'll just select one PDF file. It's about getting beyond the details, teaching professor files. So I'm just going to rename it the same thing. And I'm just uploading a PDF file. I just have to give a name and upload a file and click submit. Now, once I upload it, it basically gives me this title. And if I click on it, it opens a file that is a PDF file that talks about something about getting beyond the details and so on. Now, one important thing over here is the moment I upload a content over here, there was a small gray box, which means it was empty. Now it's gone because there is some content over here. And this is the PDF file. Now, by default, this link becomes active and the students can see it. Now, if you are logged in as a student in this course, just refresh, you should be able to see it. Now, this way you can upload multiple files and so on, one after the other and so on. You can also notice that you also received an email notification immediately saying, or maybe in a minute or two, you will get an email notification saying, let me also check, I should also get it. I got an email notification like this. First of all, I got a new course. Introduction, new course has been made available. So I got it a couple of minutes ago. Again, I'll get some more over here. Let me check. I will get another email saying that this content item is also available. So before I go any further, let me talk about notifications dashboard over here, that because it would be relevant in a minute. Now I have to go out of the course. If I click on web courses, as I mentioned, there is notifications dashboard over here. Notifications dashboard basically shows you on the dashboard what different courses you are enrolled in, what are the different items. Right now, I have just uploaded the content, but think of it from a student perspective who is taking 4 courses or 5 courses, and each course has a different activity. An instructor is uploading an assignment, another instructor is requesting some information on discussion board, another instructor is asking for a test, and so on. So different activities, all activities as a dashboard will appear over here. Now, if you would like to edit the notification settings, there are some general settings, like you will get individual messages or daily digest messages. You can change it if you are sort of disturbed by daily, or I mean, if you are a coordinator and if you get daily 100 emails, it might be a little, disturbing to have so many emails come in. So you might want to change it to daily digest. And it will come sometime later in the night or early in the morning and so on. But individual courses is also fine if you do not have so many courses. But what you can do is, this is a general setting and you can go to any specific course. Like right now for me, this course is, let me search for 2023. Yeah, this is the course that I have. And it has dashboard notifications, it has email notifications, and it has mobile notifications. If you logged into mobile app, you will get notifications just like you get notifications from news applications and so on. So by default, sorry. Okay. So by default, you have notifications for different activities. No, this was not the course. I think I'll have to search for August 2023. Yeah, this is the course. So by default, I have dashboards available. Email is available for most of the items, and this is the default for mobile. Now, if I would like to turn off all my email notifications, I will just select and double check, and all my notifications are gone. All my mobile notifications are gone, and I will not be able to get any notifications, maybe except, for example, only for content item, I want a notification, but other than that, I don't need it. So I can customize the notifications however I want to for each course as an instructor or a student for yourself. So this is important in terms of if you would like, if you are a coordinator or if you are enrolled in too many courses where you get so many notifications. So this is the place where you go and customize it. So now let's come back to the course. I'll click on web courses, my web courses, and you will see this course. And so by default, when I enter this course, I can see that something is a little bit out of place. I see the banner, but the context is the first page, but I want the content to be the first page. So I'll go to customizations, teaching style, and I will change the course entry page to lecture course contents and submit. That way, when I click on the home page, like when I enter the course, or when the students enter the course, they will see the course with the banner and the first page as the PDF file, whichever you are intending to show. So this is again customization, but I think it helps a lot. So if you'd like to see tools setup, this is what I was mentioning. One is the course availability and one is changing the course point. And of course, let me make this link available, show the link. So now you can see this link. So is everything clear until this point? Any questions at this point? Okay, excellent. I think it's all clear. Okay. No, okay, thank you. So let me introduce another important functionality and tool that is available in Blackboard for instructors, which is called Student Preview. Normally, I'm looking at this course as an instructor. So I see lecture content, but assignments, it's empty. This is empty. This is empty. This is not visible, and so on. And the control panel is there. Now, if I click on Student Preview, basically what it does is it creates another user and it sort of tries to access the same course as a student. So when I click on this Enter Student Preview, I will look at the course exactly as a student. So this is how you are seeing as a student. As an instructor, I will know that. So when you enter the course, you click on the home page, you see this banner, you see this PDF file, you click on the PDF file, you should be able to see the content of the PDF file. You come back to this main page, you click on instructor information, it's empty. You click on tool setup, you see 2 images are available here. You click on announcements, empty. Everything is mostly empty. I click on online attendance. I see that this is not has been entered. I click on my grades. I can see that there has no activity in the grades. On the groups, again, this is all empty. So by default, I, as an instructor, now see how the student sees, so I can make a judgment where I should populate things or where I should rearrange things and so on. So basically, this student preview gives you a very important information. Now, if you notice one more thing in the student preview is this is grayed out, which means there is no information saved. And if you look at the if I look at the grade center, and if I look at the list of all the students, and if I click on this checkbox, it says 76 students are here. Okay. Is grading part? I'll just touch very briefly on grading, but essentially it's not part of today's workshop because of time limitations. Thank you. So when I look at this list of students in this workshop, it's 76. Now, when I click on student preview, it basically creates another user. Let me go into the settings, and I say don't delete this user, although it's recommended to delete because it's not used. But let me just keep a preview user just for the sake of back and forth, just for the sake of demonstration. And I click on save and I exit the preview. Now, when I exit this preview, I did not delete this preview user. So we have a green light over here, which means that the student preview user has been created and not deleted. So if I click on the grade center now, and if I click on the list, I can see 77. There has been one additional user, which is myself as a preview user. So Blackboard 9 administrator preview. So this is the new user that has been created and temporarily active, which is, it does not give any statistics. So now what I can do is I can go to different activities. For example, if I go to online attendance as an instructor, for example, I'm doing everything as an instructor over here. And I know that this is the preview user. I can say that student is late, for example, and save the attendance. So it has been saved. Now, when I go to a student preview user, I know that I have been added an attendance. So if I click on attendance, I will know that I got late for this. So I'm trying to play both as an instructor, as a student, without deleting any user. So just to make sure that what I, as an instructor, have given information to a student, he has received is exactly the same way that you are supposed to give. So it makes you sure that whatever activity that you are doing as an instructor has been successfully transmitted to the student. So it gives you a little bit more confidence that yes, I have given him the attendance and he knows about it. So that's what I'm trying to say. Because sometimes if you don't use the student preview, or you might think you have done something, like you have graded the assignment, and maybe the column was hidden, for example, and if I click on my grades, I can see that there is no grade over here, and the instructor might think, okay, I have given the grade, I have given some grades, but the attendance is 0, so nothing has been there. So what I can do is, as an instructor, I can come over here, and if I click on the attendance tool, for example, because that's like a graded item. So if I click attendance, I can see Blackboard preview user, I'll say present or late, just to be consistent. When I click late, it should automatically save. And then if I go to student preview and click on my grades, I've seen that attendance, I got 50 out of 100 because it was late, and it gives the date and time when the attendance, now, as an instructor, you become confident. Okay, I have given the grade and I can see as a student that he has received it. Then you're confident that whatever you are doing in terms of giving information to the student is seen by the student as expected. So it sort of eliminates the surprises. So that's what I'm trying to say. So if you are using student preview, it gives you that that confidence in terms of seeing the course as a student. So again, this is the content. If you would like to add content over here, you can add one file at a time. That's one way to do it. If I want to add a doc file, for example, I just added the file like this. So we have a PDF file, a doc file, and if you'd like to, add a folder, I can just build content and content folder. I can call it, for example, week 1 and submit. So it becomes a folder and so on. You can drag and drop. Of course, you cannot drag and drop this into this folder. You have to do something like, it opened the file, sorry. you have to do something like drop and say move, because this is still more like components of a web page. It's not actually the object that you're moving. These are links. So you can move this to week 1, for example. You can say in the same course, browse for a destination. It can be under week 1, and that's how you move it, for example. So that PDF file is now under week 1. So things of that sort that you can do. So this is about essentially uploading content. And when we have uploaded the content, you can always go to course content collection and click on the first link, which is the course ID. It shows you that you have uploaded these 2 files on this date and time as a doc PDF file and a doc file and a PDF file and so on. Any questions at this point? Okay, now let me continue a little bit more. So this is one way to add content, which is adding an item or a file. And you can add different items. Let me, so I have shown you how to add an item, add a file using the file. Let me add an item. Now, if you'd like to upload multiple files, you can use one way to do it is used to have an item. And you can say something like week 1 files, for example. And here you can browse for multiple files. I'll just browse these 2 files, for example. I can have more. So it will generate these 2 files and click submit. It will upload both these files, and you will have something like this week 1 files, and you have 1, 2 attachments. So this way it allows you to sort of upload many files in one shot rather than uploading 1 file at a time. So this can be a little helpful. And there is one more option which I'm not going to mention, right? I'm just going to mention but not demonstrate. If you would like to upload in bulk, you can use something called document package. I might show this in the advanced workshop, but this allows you to zip the file and upload in bulk. Repeat. Okay, let me just repeat that again. Basically, what I'm trying to do is upload files. When I am going to upload files, I'm going to say build content. I'm coming to build content and click on file. When I say file, it will upload 1 file at a time. If you notice, browse local files or browse content collection. Local files is from the computer, content collection is already that has been uploaded. So I'll say browse local files. I'll select the PDF file. I will give the name. I'm just copying the same name over here. And I click submit. So I have the PDF file. Let me just drag and drop here. I have the PDF file. I have the Word file. Now this is uploading 1 at a time. If you'd like to upload multiple files, I'm just going to build content and click on item. Now when I click on item, I can give a name and then I can upload multiple files. So if I say, let's say week 2 files, for example, I have another folder and then I browse for files. I have some files for week 2, for example. There are a couple of files, just uploading. I select all the 4. 1 is 2 are PDF files, 1 is a video file. Let me come to the video file a little later. And then 1 is an image file. If I select 3, it will upload all the 3 files and I click submit. Now, if I see week 2 files, I can, have a PDF file. Again, this opens in a different window. So you have this file over here. This opens in a different window. And this opens as a background file. So this opens like this. So you can upload. Now, this is uploading typically content files, which are PDF, images, or doc files. If you'd like to upload video files, for example, you can upload audio, image, video, web link, and so on. Of course, there are so many other links over here, but this is the place to do. So let me upload a video file. I have a small video. I have to give a name, browse a local file. I know there is a video event calendar, how to add an event calendar. Again, I'm just uploading and using the same file name. And a couple of options with video, like original, auto start, auto loop, loop, add alignment to content. I'm just going to use the default settings and just click submit. I can also preview how it will look. So it will look something like this. Event calendar, download here. Let me submit. So it shows something like a video file. Notice that the icons are changing over here. This was for a folder. This is for a file. This is for a file. This is for an item where you have multiple files. And this is like a video. So you get a video file. And if you play the video, This video does not have any sound, so it's sort of playing over here. If you want to download, you just click here and download. It's again a small video. Now, this is one way to add content, of course, if you have a video. And if you don't have a video, for example, you would like to download. Okay, in case you mistakenly uploaded 3 files, but one is the wrong one, how can you delete? Okay, as I mentioned, these are just the links. This is not the actual file. So this PDF file, for example, has been uploaded incorrectly. For example, you can do two things. You can just edit this. Anytime, by the way, you want to make changes, there is a drop down beside that item and click on edit. When you click on edit, it will show you that it has been selected because it was uploaded multiple times. It gave a file name. It changed the file name itself to the same file name with 2 at the end. So I'm going to cancel it. If I go to content collection here and click on this link for the file, I can see that there are multiple files here that have been uploaded. So the one that has 2 at the end, this is the file that has been wrongly uploaded, for example. I can do two things. I can delete the file from here because this is the place where it's linking, and then I have to delete the link. So I can do either way, both are fine, but I have to do both the options. So let me just first delete this file. Now, when I delete this file, it will give me a warning that there has been a link. There has been a link to this file. What are you going to do about it? So if I click on it, it says this action is final and cannot be undone, delete item. When I click this, it says list files and folders with links. So it says this PDF file is linked to something. It says you have selected an item that is either linked to something in another place. It will result in broker links. So this will show you where it has been linked. So it shows that this has been linked to this file where it is this course name and this file. This is the attachment and so on. So the safer way, the safer way to do it is first delete the link, the safer way. So this PDF file, which I intend to delete, if I click on edit, I know this is the file with the 2 at the end. And I'll just click on this and delete. Now, once I delete this, it says delete. It does not give me a warning that this cannot be undone or something because it's essentially deleting the link. It's not deleting the file. Now, once I have deleted this, I can come back to content collection, the course ID, and this file number 2, I'm going to just delete it. And this time it does not give me a warning. It says success item deleted because it was not linked to anything. So that's the right way to do it. First delete the link, then delete the file. That way you are sure that you are not deleting the wrong file by mistake. I hope that clarifies. Okay, now let me come to the other part, which was course content. I did add course content. I did add a video file. Now, suppose if you'd like to add more interesting files, sometimes you don't have video, you might want to add a YouTube link. So, of course, there are other things that I'll skip right now. I'll talk about YouTube video. So in YouTube video, it searches the YouTube for your language. So if I just search for, let's say, KFUPM, just for the sake of demonstration, it can be related to your content. Just give it a couple of seconds. It should search on YouTube for the videos that are relevant to KFUPM, for example, graduation ceremony, or what is, let me just select this for the sake of demonstration. It's 82 minutes. It's a long video, so it doesn't matter because it's not downloading. It's just showing the thumbnail, or you can embed the video. So I'm just using the default settings and I click submit. And then I have this watch video over here. It sort of displays the video. It's a long video. So you can embed mashups from YouTube directly into your course. So this can be very interesting, especially if you have uploaded YouTube content. And if you go to YouTube, students get diverted very easily because it sort of shows advertisements and suggestions and so on. So this is a place where you can add YouTube videos directly into your course and becomes a part of your course as a link. Of course, it has to be available on YouTube. If they delete from YouTube for whatever reason, like copyright issues and so on, it might go away. So you have to just be concerned about that. Otherwise, it becomes part of your course. So you keep adding content to your course. Under build content, you add item, file, audio, image, video, web links. Web link is external link, and other things which I'm not going to discuss because I encourage you to try that out and so on due to time limitations. So this is essentially about adding content. Any questions at this point? Again, as I mentioned, you have to try out certain things yourself. What I'm going to do after this workshop is I'm going to give each one of you a blank personal course shell, like a, just for you to try out, where you are the instructor and there are no students. So you might want to add content, remove content, try out certain things, make sure you get notifications, just to play along without any students in that course. Now, the reason is the actual course that you are teaching from the registrar website that you get in Blackboard, those courses will have students. So you might not want to try so many, experimental things over there unless you are sure of it. So I will try to do that later today or tomorrow, so that you have a personal course shell, something similar to like this personal course shell under your name. So you will be able to, play along with it and sort of try out different experiment out different options and so on. Okay, so that's essentially about content. Now let's come to assessments. Now, by the way, this contents is in one place. Now let's come to assignments and assessments. Now, assignment and assessment is a place that sort of, yes, sure, of course. So assignments is a place where, it works the other way. You as an instructor give an assignment, and this is a place where students upload content, rather than in lecture content where you are building content. As an instructor, you are adding content and you are sort of providing information, option, and so on. So under assignments, the first thing is you click on assignments, and under assessment, we have assignment. Now, the assignment is basically a tool for instructors to ask information from students. And, I can say homework 1, for example, some instructions over here. I can add a file, for example, local file. It can be anything. I can upload, let's say, a PDF file, for example. Just this is the assignment. I need a due date. It can be anything that you would like to have the due date and time, for example. By the way, submissions are still accepted after this date and marked late. So immediately you get the word late at the submission. So I'm keeping the due date, let's say, end of this week, end of the day. Points possible. This is mandatory. You have to give the points possible, let's say, out of 10. And then submission details, each allow for individual submission or group submission, and number of attempts you'd like to give. So let's say we'll give them 2 attempts each. You can have plagiarism, check for plagiarism using safe assign. You just put a check mark over here and allow students. Again, these are a couple of options that you as an instructor are making sure. There is something called anonymous grading and delegated grading. This is especially helpful if you have multiple graders. For example, if it's a coordinated course and there are multiple instructors and multiple graders, that it allows for this anonymous and delegated grading, like reconciliation and so on. But in this simple one instructor assignment and one no grader, I'm just going to use the default settings and make the assignment available. If you want to add a display after and display until, you can do that, but I'm just going to make it available. And when I click submit, I will get a different icon for homework, and this is the homework that you have to do. And when you as a student click on this homework, you will see that this is the due date and time, points possible. Now you as a student can submit all the assignments. So just for the sake of demonstration, if anybody would like to submit any file, something that is easily available to you, why don't you go ahead and submit the assignment? I'll give you a minute or two while you submit, and I'll talk about other things in the meanwhile. The whole reason I'm trying to do this is once I click on assignment, I have this assignment 1 created. I want you to at least submit an assignment, and I will see from an instructor how the assignment looks like, and then I'll give a grade. You will see how the assignment looks like. So let me just do the same cycle that you are supposed to do as a student preview user. Now, if I go to student preview, I will see this assignment. By the way, the moment I created an assignment, you should also get an email notification, maybe right now or maybe a little later. And when I click on homework 1, as a student, I can see, okay, I have to browse a couple of places where I can submit the assignment. or write the assignment. So I'm just going to submit something for the sake of demonstration, another PDF file, and I'm going to write, I can write submission also. I can say homework 1 submission. Somebody is not registered, so I'm sorry, you can just ignore it, but just for the demonstration, that's why I'm doing it. So you may please ignore it. It's just only for access, trying to practice using this tool. So, and then I click submit. And when I click submit, I can see that success. Your submission appears on this page, submission confirmation. I'll get a receipt of the email that I got. And then this is the homework submission because of the text and the PDF file. This is, again, I'm seeing everything as a student. So this was the PDF file that I submitted. And it's sort of also Safe Assign is also running in the background. And I can click OK. And if I click on this homework again, I can also start new because the instructor has given me more than one submission option. So if I click on start new, I will be able to do a second submission again. But if the instructor has given me only one, then I will not be able to click on the second option for start new. Now let me go back to the instructor and see what's going on. So if I go back and look at the course as an instructor, if I'll go to the grade center, I have to see the submissions in the grade center. Now, when I come to the grade center, I can see that there are submissions, these yellow icons, which means if I look at the icon legend, yellow circle with exclamation, the question is, after grading the assignment, where does it show the grades? It shows in my grades for the student. I will show it to you because I'll complete the whole cycle. Let me show it to you. So needs grading basically means that this has to be graded. The instructor has the task to do this. So now for myself, for example, if I click on this drop down and click on this attempt, I can see what the student has submitted. This was the homework 1 submission text. This was the file. I can annotate here very quickly. I can say, this part is, not correct. Maybe I'll -1 for here. And something else, I can just, I can do annotation. And let's say I gave 8 out of 10. And please see the annotations, and I click submit. And the submission has been, and it comes to the next student. So by default, Stephen Scholl, I think, he has submitted this course. He has uploaded a file. Again, it's in public domain about residential. So I can see it from here as well. I gave to 1. By default, it comes to the next, and I can click from here. This is out of 10. I can just, it's a 2% match, Safe Assign. It's showing me where has this been copied from. For example, KFUPM has been copied. Okay, that appears in so many places from website and so on. But other than that, this is, originality report is fine. I'll give 9.9, for example, and excellent, and submit. The moment I submit, it comes to the next one, which is Zahir Yassin. Again, another file. Let's say 9. Please don't mind. I'm just trying just to give different documents. So you have uploaded from the presentation something. So okay, and submit. So now once I have done this, if I go back to the grade center, I'll see something like this: 9.9, 8, and so on. It automatically sort of keeps adding, and it shows me this, and I have to grade 2 more, and so on. Now, if I go back to student preview, because I have given myself 8, I can either go to 2 places. I can either go to assignments and click on homework 1. I will know everything. I will know that this is, I got 8 out of 10 from Safe Assign. I got some % match and feedback to learner from this date time. I got this. Please see the annotations. Or otherwise, if I click on my grades, I know homework 1, I got 8 out of 10, and there is some feedback. So if I click on it, please see annotations. Or if I just click on homework 1, I will be able to see my homework 1 submission. And as a student, I can see what annotations the instructor has added. So it's a full cycle. You create, to summarize I'm sure for Stephen Shaw and the other faculty member have given grade. You can also go to the assignment and see my annotation and the grade. Yes, the grader can do exactly the same. When you add somebody as a grader, they do exactly the same. They have full access to the grade center. They can look at the assignment, grade the assignment, give the feedback. However, you as an instructor, if there are multiple graders and you want to make sure what grade the grader has given, then you will have to come and use this option for delegated grading, where after you give the grade, only you can reconcile. I mean, you will sort of approve it. Then you can use this if in case of multiple graders and delegated grading. Otherwise, yes, grader can do exactly the same. So to summarize the assignment process, as an instructor, you first create an assignment, give instructions, give deadline, and allow submissions for multiple or single submission, and with a couple of options. The students will get an email notification saying that you have an assignment, and then the student submits his assignment, uploads the file, and then it comes to the instructor again. The instructor grades the assignment, gives the feedback, gives some annotations, and submits, and the student sees this feedback. So it's a full cycle in terms of going back and forth, where the instructor has a couple of responsibilities and then the student. Similar is a test where, now this is for the assignment. I hope that's clear. Any questions at this point? Again, for you, if you have not tried it, I encourage you to please try it out in a personal course shell. That way you will be a little bit more comfortable with students when you give them, and you can be sure of what's going on. Because occasionally there are some technical issues. For example, if the student is submitting an assignment and the internet breaks down, I mean, he loses a connection. So the assignments get stuck in between. So if you look at the grade center, by default, you will get all these yellow circles, but sometimes you will get this blue circle, which means attempt in progress, which means something went wrong and the assignment got closed and so on. So things of that sort can happen. If you face any issues, just search for the help online or create an e-desk or try to contact me and we can try to resolve that issue. I have a question. Have you checked the similarity of assignment? Can you please show it again quickly? Yeah, of course. I have, let me just take this one. If I click on this attempt by Zahir Yassin, I can see this is 0% overall match, because maybe this is an image. So let me just take the previous one. Stephen Shaw, there was a yes. So if I click on Safe Assign, and as an instructor, you have to click on the grade details, and the grade details Safe Assign, you click on View Originality Report. The first thing you have to do is you have to enable Safe Assign in the assignment itself. So if you click on the assignment, when you are creating an assignment, you will have to enable check submission for plagiarism using Safe Assign. And that way it will sort of generate. If you don't check it, it will not do that plagiarism check. So I hope that's clear. Now, one more important thing is we also have Turnitin assignments. And if you are aware of Turnitin assignments, they have a larger database of paper repositories and documents and internet search. So they give you slightly better results compared to Safe Assign. So if you are interested in using the default default assignment within Blackboard, this is fine. But if you are explicitly using, and I think most of the English language and Prepare English use this, is a Turnitin direct assignment. Again, it's very similar to assignment, almost similar, but the plagiarism check is done by Turnitin, which is like a leader in Turnitin, leader in plagiarism. So you, again, let's say Turnitin homework 1, you can, use the same. I'm using the default settings and create assignment. I cannot do it because my username is not unique, because I'm using WebDAD account. It has to be unique. WebDAD account as a student, as an instructor. That's why it's causing this issue. Let me see if I can fix it by just deleting this student preview, but I'm not sure it might, because this might not work. The only reason is Turnitin and cloud services, they need unique email addresses. They cannot have email addresses with multiple roles. So let me just give one try, but I'm a little skeptical. Yeah, because my username is available with a student different role. If you log in, if you log in as an instructor and create any assignment, you should be able to create. If you want, let me just log in with, I hope I can do this very quickly. I'm just logging with another account. I have to uncheck some of my old courses, just a second, because it's not visible. Or I will just 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 1. Yeah, this is the one. So if I go to assignments and if I go to assessments and turn it in direct assignment, just give it a couple of seconds. Create assignment. I should be able to do it over here. If it's not giving an error, means it's going through. Yes. So I'm able to create a Turnitin assignment over here. So if I click on assignments, you can see a different icon for Turnitin. And this assignment is a little bit different. Again, it behaves very similar, but this is a cloud service going directly and it does a plagiarism check. So you can also upload a Turnitin assignment over here and it gives a plagiarism check. So that's essentially about assignments. I am almost out of time. I just want to finish on one final point. I can do a test in a similar way. Again, due to time limitations, I will not be able to do it. So I encourage you to just have a look at the test. You'll have to create the test in a similar way. You have to go to course tools and we have test surveys and pools. And you can create test surveys or pools. You either build test or import test. So I can build a test very quickly. For example, test 1 or quiz 1, for example, some instructions. And then once you can create questions of so many different types, from calculated formula, numeric, essay, file response, fill in the blanks, true, false, short answer. Or you can reuse questions or you can upload questions. And when you want to upload questions, it can be authored, especially in a specific format. Click on more help to know what basically is the format of different type of questions that can be uploaded if you upload from a Word file or a Notepad file and so on. So I encourage you to try that out. Due to time limitations, I'm not able to complete, but I just wanted to give you an idea. So I hope you got a general idea. I mean, for the first time user, or if you are just having a look at Blackboard, maybe after summer break, where you just want to make sure of where the tools are, how to make the course available, how to upload a banner, how to upload content, reorganize content, add different type of files, use different type of tools. Again, you have tools available here. You have partner content like McGraw-Hill, Wiley Plus, Engage, and so on. So I encourage you to just try out certain things. And as I mentioned, at the end of this workshop, or maybe tomorrow, I'll create personal courses, especially for new faculty members, and you should be able to sort of play along and try out. So if you are interested, I will have another workshop on advanced features, a little bit more advanced compared to this, because this was like a basic and sort of introduction and first-hand use of Blackboard. There will be an advanced workshop on Thursday. Just have a look at the schedule. On Thursday, I will have a workshop from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And then finally, I have a seminar in the afternoon from 2 to 3 about the new version of Blackboard Ultra. So in case you are interested, this will be available maybe sometime in 2024. So I'll give a little bit more details, but this is only a sneak peek and we don't have access to it yet. So I'll talk about this on Thursday, both these events. So if you are interested, you are most welcome to attend this workshop either online or if you are interested, if you have any specific questions, maybe we can have one-to-one discussion of your requirements and so on. So thank you again for joining in. This is the time that we have, and I appreciate your participation. And if there are any specific questions, you can send me a message offline. You have my email address, sanaullah@KFUPM or WebDad, or you can open an eDesk request. So please feel free to do that. And we hope to see you in our next sessions. Thank you so much.